Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're going to give it a minute for everybody to join. I'm not going to be in this avatar the whole time. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. The new feature in Zoom allows you to come as an avatar. It's probably the most annoying feature they've added yet. While we're joining here, if everybody could just post where they're joining us from. I'm in sunny yet brisk Bend, Oregon, but it's always fun to see. Oh, David, man. We're gonna have to get you a special hat and title.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, Kate in Cincinnati, Sophie from Montreal. Oh man, I gotta keep adding. You've got to gonna be a good attendance today. Mike Belden from Wisconsin, Kim from Philly. Might be neighbors with David.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Just keep going here. How are you doing today, Donnia?
I am doing fantastic. Having a great
awesome.
day.
For the new people just joining in, we're just sharing. Oh, another Oregonian can be in the house. Awesome. We're just saying where we're from. It's nice to see the distribution of the community here.
Gaspari from Greece. Like that.
Awesome. I bet that's nice and warm. Derek from Lincoln, Nebraska, but my office is in Omaha. Okay. We'll take that. You don't have to be so specific. I mean, you could have said you were either one and we wouldn't have questioned it. Kathleen, Salt Lake City. That's where my son is graduating University of Utah this month from a civil engineering program there. So
we have you reading United Kingdom.
Yeah, wow. Denver, Bellevue. This is awesome.
We're multi-continental.
Yes, very much so. Well, you got to, your reach knows no bounds. Let's give it one more minute. People are just popping on in. Oh, wow. Yeah, Zagreb. That's awesome. Welcome, Alan. Francois from Vancouver. Jerry, Dallas. All right. Well, I think we'll probably get going. I'll keep adding people. Oh, Colorado Springs. Nice. Are you ready, Donnia?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. I turned off the avatar. Oh, I had a panic moment for that old court video that was like, I'm not really a cat. The guy couldn't figure out how to turn off a little cat avatar. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to today's community conversation. My name is Sean Hurley, and I'll be your community host. We're joined by the talented and loving Donnia Tabor-Hanson. We're going to be talking Revit Hints and Hacks series for Schedule Family. All right, let's kick it off. Community conversations are virtual meetups featuring expert speakers from across community sessions that range from deep dives, tips and tricks, and live demonstrations on products such as AutoCAD, Revit, of course, Dynamo. We have a great series on Dynamo, and Fusion 360, and many more, to roundtables on industry insights, emerging trends, and career stories, all of that. And it's all levels of people. So, beginners to the experts. Let's go to the next slide, please. Next one after that. That was the welcome. The fun stuff, the lawyers. This is just a statement. If you're going to make any decisions in purchasing of any products, don't base it on any statements we may make. If we say that, we're going to have unicorn themed UI in Revit, don't make your purchasing decision based on that. I'd question if you did, but anyway, make your purchasing decision based on the product as it ships today. So that's the only statement there. Next, please. Some ground rules and just kind of some norms. The lines are muted to reduce background noise, but we invite you to turn on your camera where possible. You could even exercise the new Zoom avatars if you wanted. I'm not going to judge you. It's the no judgment zone. Everyone's line, in this virtual world, you can raise your hand. You can also type your questions. So this is a conversation. So if you have a question about something that's at the moment that Donnia is in the middle of, give us a little bit of time and we'll get to it. But this is a conversation, so it's involvement of everybody here. Let's see here. This session will be recorded and the video posted afterwards, and I'll send out helpful links. But that's That's it. I'll introduce myself again. Sean Hurley, Autodesk Community Engagement Manager. I'm a geeky technologist and love the outdoors here in Bend, Oregon. And I love Donnia. Introduce yourself, Donnia.
Oh, okay.
Don't be shy.
Be shy, yeah, like a steamroller. My name is Donnia Tabor-Hanson. I am a Autodesk certified Revit professional, AU speaker, speaker mentor. I'm out of Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been doing Revit for a long time, and it is a passion of mine. I love Revit families, Revit customization, and I'm trying to bring out more and more things about hints and hacks for Revit, both here and in the community blogs, which we'll be talking about during this session. So sit back, relax, and I hope you get, everybody should get 3 good things out of here. So as you check them off, let me know, okay? And phone call.
That's not me.
Turn the phone off. Everybody else can turn your phones. Oh, well, we won't hear them anyway. So let's get started here. Today's agenda, I've got 3 questions I get asked the most. It was 2 questions until yesterday. And then something came up and I made it 3. So I was editing this morning. We're going to talk about working versus print schedules and the difference between them and how we work those out, and maybe a suggestion that you want to look into. How to do some combining of headers, how to highlight missing information in your schedules so you can prompt your teammates to fill in information. How you can highlight rows and columns, how to get some no zero links. Don't you hate your schedule and you've got zeros because there's a parameter there? Maybe you don't even need it. It didn't get removed from the family. And it says it's got 0 cold water. And the thing doesn't even have cold water. But you don't need the zeros. And I'm show you how to get rid of those. We're going to look at a key schedule. And I'm also going to show you some schedule hijacks where I use scheduling for things other than schedules. So we got a lot to get into. So let's get into it right now. Schedule items not showing correctly. This came up yesterday, and I'm not going to bring up the example of it because it is a customer of ours. It's a work in progress. I'm just going to tell you about it. And I think if you're smart enough, you will understand. So you guys should all get it, or you wouldn't show up here. So we had a family that had an amperage. And my teammate was going in and she's editing the amperage and it's not changing in the schedule. So I said, we'll change it in the schedule. It wouldn't let her change it in the schedule. So when she went in the schedule, had to change it. Just like, so we opened the family, we check it. And I'm thinking, well, maybe there's something about the amperage. Maybe somebody had a different shared parameter file, because most everybody I'm in the food service industry, and we all started with the food service industry core shared parameter file that was put out a long time ago. Maybe they just did something different. So I ripped it out, put ours in. Nope, that didn't help. That amperage is still not changing. And I told her, I said, well, I'm going to have to get into the project to figure it out, because I got to get in there and just beat on it a little bit. Sometimes I just need to, I was doing this through Teams. Sometimes I just need to, my computer threw up and wouldn't open the project. So it hit me. I said, it's in the schedule that it's wrong. So sometimes you got to reverse engineer it. So sometimes put on the other hat. If it's not working to fix it over here, where is it wrong? It was wrong in the schedule. So we went to the schedule and you highlight in project, and we went to where it was. There was a nested electrical outlet in the schedule, in the family, and they were scheduling the outlet that they had attached to the family, even though the family, it was called an electrical engineering equipment schedule, but they're not scheduling the equipment, they're scheduling this thing that they nested in. So they're doing double duty. They had put this in there, and then they had put all the information from the family into that, and that was what was scheduling. Drove us nuts. So just think about it. If you can't find it in the family and it's wrong in the schedule, let's go to the schedule and go from the schedule back. So we were trying to go, well, we're always putting things in the schedule. Sometimes you got to get something out of the schedule. So that one's, I said, you can run, but you can't hide. That's like Revit Forensics 101 right there. There you go. So that one was interesting. Now, how to clear up blank cells. These are questions I answer 2 or 3 times a month. I've got it in there, but the cells are blank. So let's go take a look at what happens when you have a blank cell. So here, I got a blank cell showing up. And he says, I know my K102 is there and it's a Charleston, but all the information is blank. Let's not pay any attention to the fact that most of the time you ignore the quantity. There's 2 of these. Do you have 2 of these? Not sure. So the way I generally say, if you've got something that's blanking out, the first thing you want to do is let's just go see those 2. So itemize every instance. I go to the sorting and grouping and bring up that tab and itemize every instance. And let's go look at K102. Boom, there's a lot. Now let's slide down here. Sure enough, there's 2 of them. And they're both Charleston, but look here, one's a prep table and one's a refrigerator prep, one's a sandwich prep. So let's go look at this by doing the highlight and model like I mentioned a minute ago. No open views, fine, go open me one. And magically it's going to come across here and it's go, here's your 102. He goes, yeah, that's it. That's my 102. Well, let's go see what the other one is by coming over here and picking this, highlight and model again. Goes over here, says, well, that's not a 102, that's a 103. Okay, great. So let's just type in here and say you are a 103. Problem fixed. And when we go back to the schedule and back to the sorting and grouping tab, and we do not itemize every instance, I now have a 102 and a 103 right here and here, and they're both showing up. So that one is one that gets people, it's like, I put the information in there, but it's not showing up. Well, why is it not showing up? If there's conflicting information, and these are being, the fields are in here, and they are being sorted by the item. It's our item CFA number. It's our custom for anyone for our chains. So they're being sorted by that type item number. And yeah, it's, if you've got conflicting information from that point on, yeah, you can put all of them in there as a K102, all of them go blank. But you got to have, that's when you have conflicting information, is when there are different things in there that conflict under that sorting thing there. All right, what was my next? Oh, getting something either into or out of a schedule. When say it's not showing up in the schedule, or how do I get this out of the schedule? Well, that's when you use, oh, let me go back over the wrong one. This tab. Okay. I'm going to go down here to this one. I've set something up here. So here I've got some things in the schedule that I don't need. So how do you get them out? Or how do you put something in? That's when you want to look at your filter tab. Your filter tab is what puts things in or out. And this one says if the food service equipment identifier, again, we're working in this, and yours could be whatever filter you have. But if that equals yes, and TM utilities, which we talked about, and that was my, watch this, how much this one parameter can do. That was my workhorse parameter. And if it's equal to or greater than 0, then put it in here. Well, somebody put a duplex receptacle with the TM utilities of 0 and checked it. So it's got both of these in there. It's not supposed to have either. Now I could either uncheck it or take the 0 out, but I'm going to go ahead and highlight and model and have it open it up, because I'm going to get them all at once. And it's got this, so I can right click and say select all instances in entire project. You do not need to show up in the equipment schedule. And where's your TM utilities? It should be a type. Why it got put to that, I don't know. But it's a 0. No, it's blank. So let's take it out of there. And that will remove it from a schedule. So you can use your filters, can either put things in or take things out of your schedules. Those are the 3 things that come up more than about anything else for me. And I answered those, especially those last 2. I answered those a couple times a month. Okay, so there's my problem, children. Let's get into some things to make them work for us. We have working versus print schedules. Now, our working schedules, they're the ones that they show up at the top of our list of schedules. They're the ones I want you to do your work in. There's the ones I want you to go edit the information in. They're the ones I want you to go check and make sure everything is filled out. Because whatever you do in there is reflected in the print schedules. And the print schedules are the ones that go on the sheets. So the working schedules are just for us. They can show all the information that I need. Some things might be hidden some of your filtered items, like my TM utilities, can be hidden in print, but they'll show up in working, like I showed you with that duplex. Yeah, so they may not have some of them may not have a print version. Some of my working schedules may just be for me. Case in point, I have a blog post, and I'm going to put the link to this blog post in our chat. But I had a blog post recently about schedules and how to clean up your file. And I have a working view list, and it tells me what the views, what sheet they're on, what their name is, etc. And I can find views that aren't on sheets. Maybe they're extra views that have been duplicated, or sections that we're not using, 3D views that are never going to show up anywhere else that were just used to check something. And I can start eliminating those views out of my project to help reduce the size of my project and save time. Because if something's in a 3D view and you move it, especially that 3D view is open, you got to wait for the calculations to work through Revit to get it all adjusted in all the views it's in. So as you eliminate views, you're also eliminating how many times things can be seen and how many times they can be touched. So that also helps you speed up your system a little bit. So that one is one that doesn't have a print version, but it's one I use a lot. So working views are for things keeping us working in our project. So you can show more in it, like I show the FEI, the food service equipment identifier, my TM utilities. I show those things in that I don't show in print. And like I said, this is where they should do any editing. They're going to do editing, it has to be here. And whatever here is here reflects in print. These are not placed on sheets. None of these are ever placed on a sheet. They're all for working. They're all just for us to have information that we can manipulate for our project. Okay. For our print schedules, they show only what is necessary. They look a little bit cleaner. And they're already placed on sheets. The ones that should be are already placed on sheets. We have some that you can place on sheets later if you need to. And the only editing that may be necessary might be column width, because once your schedules start filling out, you may find out that some of your rows are wrapping a little bit, and you may want to just edit your column width. So that's the only thing you really should be doing to your print schedules on the sheets. So let's look at some of ours. And again, here's my schedule list. I'll make this a little bit bigger. Come on. And I usually have a working schedule with a complementary print schedule. So I've got an equipment and utility schedule. So down here I have a food service equipment and utility schedule. And you can see this one looks a little bit discombobulated over, but this one is a little bit neater and cleaner, so to speak. It doesn't have the colorings, it doesn't have the check boxes at the front, although my food service equipment identifier, TM utilities are both in here, but under formatting, both of those have been turned to a hidden field. Because we're using them, they have to be in here if we're going to use them for our filters, because the filter is going to be the same. This is just a mirror copy of the other one with a few things not done in formatting and not done in the visibility of some of the columns. All right. So that's the difference between our working and our prints. We do a lot in working, and a lot of things we're going to do today is going to be in my working views. So let's get started with that. Have we got any questions so far?
No, it looks like you've answered everything as you're going along. I also put a link to the Voices blog post of yours.
Oh, thank you so much. I love having Sean take care of me. Okay, so combining headers, some of the stuff is simple enough, but I want to make sure if you've done it, that's great, but some may not have. So I want to make sure we're looking at formatting of our schedules. So one of the things you can do is the combination of headers. And the columns are all based off the fields that are added in the schedules. And you can group the columns so that you can, anything that's related can be distinguished from with similar information, and keep your plumbing from your electrical in the list and such. So let's take a look at that over here. And you can see that I've already got some combinations going on. And these are the headers down here in this row. These have been combined here. If let me just copy this out. If I take this and say ungroup it, you see that goes back up there. If I take these two and join them, then I have the option of saying group. And I can put that in there. I even grouped some groups and put another header on top of that, say this is my supply and this is my waste. So you can even group or ungroup the headers. So to group something that's not grouped, I would just take and copy these and just say group, and then you can just type in whatever header you want. And it does show up on the prints. Let me go get, and I do pick the one that's not got groups on it. Let me go to my plumbing schedules.
When you get to a point, Donnia, we have a question.
Okay, so here is the print version of that, and you can see it does make it look neater to have things say, so you can define what's where and how things are going. Okay. Do I assign view templates to schedules? Man, I started doing that and it got in trouble. It seemed more trouble than it was worth, but yeah, you can make a view template. And if you want to lock it down, it's harder for some people to figure out how to get to it. But I started doing that and realized that most of my guys don't touch my schedules that are in our templates. And if they need to, and they do something wrong, the way we get it back is I'll delete the schedule out of here. I've got, when I create a template, I go create a file and it's called to steal from. So I've got a file to steal from, and I can go and I can insert my schedules from there by using the insert from view. Or I can go and I can transfer project standards for some things from that project. But yeah, my to steal from project is something that's good. But if they screw up a schedule, I can just go get it and bring it back in. So that's how I can work with that. But yeah, I tried the view templates and it just was more trouble than it was worth, even for me. I would forget, and it's like, oh, it's got a view template. I gotta take that off or I can edit it. So I just found it was more hassle than it was worth for me. But you may find that if you want to lock them down, that would be the way to do it, is go and put a view template on it. And just to show you where that would be, since it was mentioned, let's go back here to this one. And right here is view template. And I even deleted them out of here, but you can just say, where's my create new? What am I in? View template none. I don't have a new in here. Oh, now I'm confused. I'll tell you what, I'm going to come back to that and post it in the chat, because I'm like, okay, where did it go? Because I should be able to do this. I do it with architectural, nothing. Do with all, nothing. I don't have a new here. I'll come back to that. I know I've had them, but I just can't get it right now. So I will come back to it. I'm not going to let it slow us down today. But thank you for asking.
David offered up, I think, a tip on that one. That is only to assign one. View tab on ribbon to create.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense. And that is, and I didn't realize you couldn't do it here, because it looked like you want to do it here. You do others like that. But yeah, when you go here, you can go, you see, I went straight to view templates. You can go in and the dialog box comes up and you can get them from here. But see, this just gives me view templates for all. We can go architectural. See, I'm not seeing schedules here. I'm gonna come back to that. And David, if you want to put a message in there on how it's done, because I can't see it right now. I don't want to waste more time on it at this point. We will get you an answer. We will get you an answer. We'll take care of that. Not a problem. I don't mind being stumped. Somebody just got kudos for stumping Donnia, right? So be careful if you add columns after your group, because it will not automatically put them in a group. It will split the group. But so you can, I showed you how to ungroup and then you can regroup. So your grouping will have to be redone if you do add a column in between. And just to show you how that is done and what happens, if I come in here to fields and go somewhere in here and I'm going to add just anything and put it in there, and see it splits. So if I go back and take out acne volume, and take it out. I'm still grouped there. So it's best to, if you want to do groups, it's best to have all your columns in to begin with. Okay. Now, y'all notice some pink boxes in there? Our family templates have more parameters sometimes than are necessary, and often they have zero information or information not filled in. And so we set it up so that when we go into something like here, this says it's hot water, cold water, all of these are zeros. And I'm like, what in the world has the drunk bar? Now you're curious, aren't you? Let's go get this and highlight model. I know you want to see what the drunk bar is because this is a restaurant. That's what we do. So the drunk bar is a bar. It is on the top of, this is a drink that this is where the bartenders will set the drinks. And they have a bar here. So the drinks will come out on this side and the glasses will come in on this side. The glasses that are drunk from go on one side of the drunk bar. But I think that's funny. That cracked me up when I found that. So the drunk bar, it shouldn't have any utilities whatsoever. So apparently the wrong template was used, because if I look, he's got every utility. Somebody has used something else because he's got a 24-inch height with wall verified. This isn't right. There's a family that needs editing. But and here this is green. When we have missing information and we want it to show up, that one's got something in it, but it's wrong. It's got a 0 in it. We have done what is known as conditionally formatting for highlighting zeros and blanks. Our zeros and blanks are things that we want to make sure it's like you're missing information here or something's not right, so that it prompts our team members to go in and look for those. It especially comes in handy when you've got indirect waste and you need an indirect waste number to show up. So if a blank is there, the conditionally formatting is done under format. And I'll just use that one as an example. Let's go down and get indirect waste number. Conditionally formatting is done here. The conditional formatting for this one, if indirect waste is equal to blank, color it pink. So you just pick your own color. You set your own formatting and set it up so that it's in there, and it highlights in there. And if it should have some information like if this says 0, well, the conditioning formatting for those would be, I'm picking one of these sizes that have an inch mark. Conditionally formatting is if this equals to 0, then put it pink. In the electrical, we choose green for missing information, because our view templates are set up so that anything using that TM utilities, 1 is plumbing, 2 is electrical, 3 is mechanical, which is the blue. So where some things will have plumbing and electrical, their TM utilities would have a 1 and a 2, such as this ice machine right here. It has a 1 and a 2. So it goes into both schedules, because our electrical schedule says TM utilities contains 2. So we also put the same colors in here as we do in our working views to let people know if it's green, put electrical with it. And this is also to let you know you either got missing information or there's too much information in that family, which some of it should have been moved out. So that's how you can use them to get conditionally, let me get my mouth, conditional formatting to get things to prompt you to fill out information. All right, now highlighting rows or columns. In 2020 and before, there was a stripe rows. It was so simple. I will pop over here. I was in 2021, now I'm in 2022. If you wanted to stripe your rows, you just had it right there. Stripe your rows. I'll do that in a minute. And it automatically has the stripes. Every other row has a stripe to it. In 2021, there is no stripe rows. They took it away. No, they put it under your appearance because they gave you a little more control. So in 2021, those options have been removed from where it was, but it's been replaced inside the dialog box under the formatting tab. Did I say formatting tab? I think it's appearance tab. It's under the appearance tab. Of course, I got that wrong. So you can tell it to stripe rows, and then you can choose your colors. And if I'm going to say purple, and then I can pick the second row and make it, I don't know, some ugly green. What it does when I have conditionally formatting, my conditional formatting stays. That's ugly. Conditional formatting overrides anything when you do something like that for your stripe rows. Yeah, let's get that out of there. But you know, if you want to do the colors, I'm waiting for them to come out where we can stripe like 5 rows at a time, because it has been studied that the human eye can follow a row of 5 and keep your space, whether you're top, middle, next to the top, next to the bottom, follow that line better. That's why a lot of times when you see some charts out, they'll do it in groups of 5 colorings. I'm waiting for that. All right. Now, there is a way to highlight one row at a time and to determine its color. And I found that, and I'm going to show it to you on a web page. And I'm not going to do it here, but I'm going to we're going to look at the steps, and I'm going to put this in the, I'll put this in the chat right now, but I'll also put it on the comments of the conversation after this is over. But I found this, I did a search and found this. This was back in 2017, but it's still valid. And what he's basically doing is he is going to add a parameter under fields. He's adding a parameter, and he's going to make it a project parameter. And so he's already got it in project parameters, and it's called color on. He spells it uniquely. And it's a yes, no parameter. He's going to put it at the end. And then he goes in individually under formatting and does the same conditional statements, but his conditional statement says if color on equals to yes, give it this color. So he was doing the same conditional statements that I was doing, but to get it to do the entire row, he has to go into each individual column and say, I want it on this one and this one and this one. Where I was doing it for one column to do this, one column to that. But that is a way, if you want to have colored rows, you can do a colored row. Your conditional formatting will eliminate any conditional formatting like I've done with the pinks and stuff. But it's something, if you want to do it in your print schedules, you could do it in that to highlight something. And he shows that it does come out on the schedule. So I didn't want to go through those steps because it was just too easy to come here and point this out and show you that one. Plus, it's something that I won't be doing on mine because we have doing the conditional statements here. Now, if you want to highlight a header, it's on the contextual menu. So you can come up in here and pick on this, and then you have shading. And if I go to shading there, I could go with all pink. On that one, no, just the head, just the one. So it's just as like one at a time. If that's what you want to do, you can. If you want to do a column, you can do a column and you can do shading. And if I go do shading in it, notice it did the column but didn't get the header that was combined. But you can, and see, my conditional statements do override this. So you can do columns if you want to. That option is available to you. Which I keep on doing these things. So yeah, to highlight a column, and it's in the contextual menu. Contextual menus meaning when you select something, you look up there, whatever in context of what you selected is going to be chosen. Okay, no zero links. Now in my working schedule, I've got all these zeros showing up. You don't want that in your print schedule. So you don't want a zero in your cold water size. We got cold water, but we're just not going to give you any size for it. That's going to be fun. Since your schedules reside only in projects, we use project parameters for removing zeros. That way I also don't have to edit my shared parameter file. And if you've been following me along, you may figure it out. I don't like anybody editing a shared parameter file. So this was done with project parameters. And we have several things that we can do. We go in there and replace them with something, but it depends on the parameter and with the zero to which project parameter we use or a blank. And some of ours that we use have to do with our equipment having electrical and plumbing and such. These are our empty, it's called empty amps, and it's project parameters that we assign. They have no value assigned to them whatsoever. They're empty. I have amps, gas, length. Length can cover your size for your gas, size for your hot water, or it's rough in height. They're both lengths. Anything that has an inch mark can be a length. Also can cover phasing, volts, and wattage. So these are enough so that if I have somebody that has a bunch of parameters in a family that's not used, but they didn't delete them out, and I'm guilty of it. I've started deleting them out in the past a little bit because I'm like, we're not using it. I don't need to have it show up. So I just delete it out. So I don't need it showing up with a zero or something, so delete it out. So let's go look at how we have accomplished that in our print schedule. So I'm going to go down to, let's see, I've been working equipment. Did I leave that open? No, of course I wouldn't have done that. Here's my equipment and utility schedule. So in here, it takes a lot of duplication work. So what I would suggest, like for ours, it took a lot of duplication work because we have equipment and utility schedule, which has all the utilities. And then we have an electrical schedule, and then we have a plumbing schedule. So I did the utility schedule, and then for the electrical, I would just delete all the plumbing out, the duplication. Duplicate this utility schedule and delete all the electrical out. And I got my plumbing schedule because it does take a lot of work and a lot of extra fields in here because we have duplicated our fields. So here's the hot water size parameter, but here's HW size. This one, when I go look at formatting, hot water size is our parameter. It's hidden, but HW size has a heading of just size right here. But HW size isn't a parameter. It's if I go here and pick on HW size, it's a calculated formula, calculated value. HW size, now it has to have parameters that are already in the schedule if you're going to use it. So if hot water size equals 0, use empty length. Empty length also has to be in the schedule, hidden field again. Else use hot water size. So it's going in, and if hot water size comes in with 0, it's going to use hot water size, and hot water size is our empty length is set to blank. Else, if it's got hot water size, it's going to use hot water size. So therefore, I have eliminated all of those zeros and everything in here. So just look down here. Here is all of our empty length, everything that's in here. These are set under formatting to be hidden fields. Don't show up, but they are used, the values of them are used to replace any zeros or blank fields. It's going to go in and replace those so that they don't show up in here when we don't need them. And it just made it a lot cleaner. Before we did this, there was a lot of zeros still showing up in here. And we got a lot of, send that to an MEP guy, they're going to go, what? Red marks everywhere. So to keep the bleeding from happening, we removed all the zeros.
Donnia, when you get a moment, we do have a backlog.
Oh, okay. What you got?
Let's see. We got, I hope I'm saying it right. Mylan said, maybe out of topic, but my team needed a fast solution to schedule electrical fixture family with survey coordinates. What I did was insert a site category family into the electrical lighting to schedule all fast. It worked, but do you have a more intelligent solution?
No, because you're going to need something that has survey information in it, and the electrical doesn't have survey information in it. So that is the optimal way of doing that, I do believe. I think that is an excellent, just nest it in there. That way, everywhere the electric goes, it carries that little survey thing with it. Yes, perfect. I think that's optimal.
Paul asks, is it possible to get more than one conditional color in a column, such as
Nope.
fire ratings on doors within a door schedule? 30 minutes, say red, 60-minute blue,
Oh.
120-minute yellow.
I don't believe so at this time because you only have the one condition and I don't have an or in there. If we had an or in there, hey, wish list. Is the Revit team listening? Wish list.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
make a
that would be
note of
great.
that. I'll make a
That would
note
be
of that
great.
one.
That's excellent. I like the way you think. Okay, is that it?
Yeah, we had Katie came in with, this is a good one because it's if you're working on a door schedule and the glazing dimensions are equal to 0, how can all those zeros be hidden or just those instances? And then she goes, oh, I asked too soon because that was when you that was when you hit that time. So
yes. Okay, great.
perfect.
Okay, I'm
Thank
looking
you.
at my time. And let's drop to a key schedule. I don't know if anybody's ever made a key schedule. This is the simplest thing in the world to do. And it has to do when you're going to have something that's going to be repeating. You start a new schedule and you choose the category of key schedule. And then I've got like 3 notes here, and then we're gonna jump over and do it real quick. Select the schedule keys for the type. We're gonna do a room key schedule, which is a typical. Doors are great for key schedules so that you can pick which type of, what people are drawing on my things. Can you block them from drawing? Okay, so we're gonna, doors are great if you wanna do the hardware. We're gonna have a kick plate, which type of hardware it's gonna have. You can do a great key schedule for that also. And after the key name after the key schedule is made, you can then add the key schedule to it. And the key name can be hidden if needed. So let's jump to that because I'm looking at my time and I want to make sure I get through that. And I just hit the wrong one. We're going to try to open up another Revit. That's not good. I'm going to close down some things here. I don't know how to get rid of this. I'm sorry.
I don't even. It's kind of a cool accent.
Yeah, well, somebody out there, 15 minutes.
I will search and try and find out how to wipe out your.
Okay. I'm not concerned about it. We're going to a key schedule. So I'm going to go up and schedules are under views. And I'm going to say schedule. And I'm going to say I'm going to do a schedule. And when the schedule comes up, I'm going to tell it, it won't let me select this until I go down to something that can have a key schedule, such as rooms. Select key schedule. I'm going to call it a room type finishes. Okay. In here, I'm going to have, let's start with a floor. I need a floor finish. Going up, I need a base finish. Next, I would need a wall finish and a ceiling finish. So now I've got a key schedule. And I need to add some columns here so I can fill them out. So I'm going to insert data rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4. And let's say if I'm in office, I have a wood floor, wood base, paint, and chip. And that just went to, oh, office went down there. Okay, I'm gonna change this to something else. And can't spell. Okay, we're gonna leave. We don't care. We're gonna say storage room. Can they still see? Because all of a sudden I've got Sean over here, big time.
Yeah, you might need to hit share again. I was
might
trying
need
to
to
get
share
rid of the
again.
draw thing. I dropped your share out. That's what
Okay.
happens.
All I've been doing
broke
is
I broke it.
all I have been doing is typing in the schedule, and y'all didn't see me type and misspell. I'm leaving it anyway. So I've got an exam room, an office. I can't take it.
We did get rid of the annotation though.
Yeah, and a waiting room. Now, the waiting room is also going to have wood, and it's going to have wood, but here it's going to have wallpaper. Can't spell. And the ceiling's also going to be chip. The The storage room will have a acoustical. It's going to have paint. It will have vinyl base and tile. Boom. Okay, let's make the waiting room with tile and vinyl. But then, so once we get them typed in there, you see we can just go pick on and make that wood, make it wallpaper and gyp. So we've got 4 different room types. So now when I go to my room schedule, room finish schedule, I can go in here and now I have that room type finishes that I made as a parameter that I can put in here. So I'll put it in and then I can come over here and this room, I'm not going to fill out all this other stuff. All I have to do is fill out which type of room it is to fill out that schedule. And I can change it at any time and say, you know, you're this or you're that. So you can see how a key schedule, if filled out, can go in and fill out the other schedules for you. It's a very simple way of getting that in there. And then I can come back in under formatting under this one. I probably don't want to have this one show up, so I'll just hide him. So then I can have my finishes already coming in. Better spelling, all uppercase. You can do all kinds of things better. This is quick. So that's a key schedule. It's a real simple method of doing things. Do we have any questions on this?
Does not appear to be, other than Chris making fun of me blowing away your share screen.
Chris got my back. Okay. Back to, I think we're going to get through everything. I was wondering if I was going to have to blog about this last one instead of just going through it. Okay, schedule hijacks. Some of the things that we schedule or use schedules for, number one, notes. I love it for notes because I like the way it formats better than using text. I can line things up better, and let me show you a sheet. Let's go. Yeah, I got a lot of schedules. You're going to see why right about here. This general notes and legends page. If I just do a crossing window here, this has, under my filter, I've got one title block. I've got 12 schedules and 12 generic annotations. I like things nice and tight and clean lines wherever possible. We have a generic annotation that, this is a highlight, this is a bonus here. We have a generic annotation that we can give whatever name it needs to have, and we can give it whatever size it needs to have, and we can line them up here and fill in information. Everything else in here besides these things and the title block are schedules. These are all schedules. This is great because in here in a schedule, things that I can do, I can go into my formatting and I can set where my formatting is going to be left or right. And I can do that easier. I can go into the appearance and set anything I need up in there, the correct text and everything. But I like it for having it like this because I can take this schedule or this right here. If I bring it over here, I can break it in half if need be. People always go, how do you put it back together? That's a question that you always have to pick on the little move button, and just drop it in the middle. It puts it back together. It's an easy thing, but that one seems to be typed until you zoom in and get that move thing. But I can also take it and I can make this wider. This to me works a lot easier than working with text file or text in there. So I can go in there and make all of these text and I put it back where it goes. I have to. The nice one is this one right here. And this one, when I open up this schedule, my abbreviations, all I had to do is take them and copy them in here and just set the right justifications. And the beauty of that is I can put it on any project I need. And because I can break it up and stuff like you can a schedule, which you can't in text, then I can make this any size I need to make sure that he fits in. And if you move one, you're going to move the other. And I've got him where he fits in where he needs to be just by breaking him. And you can, of course, move these up and down to adjust them. You know, however you need to move them. And that's one of the things I love about schedules is the being able to do whatever I need to do with it, to get it either text or to get my working schedules, where it gives me so much information and it gives my team members a lot of feedback. Oh, I'm in a blank project here. It gives my team members a chance to go in and work with those so that they have feedback given to them from the schedule. I mentioned the view list in my blog post. This is my view list. You can see I've got a lot of things in it, and we've got a minute or two, so I'm gonna go back over it. Working views and such. So if I'm not in a project, let me pop over to.
We are getting some questions.
This is not 2020, and it is in a project. So here's a view list of an active projects going on. And you can see there's a lot more in here. We preset some of our views. See, our views don't have their names on them. That's going to be on the sheets. We have these set up for, this is our coordination, our electrical, our elevation key, our plumbing, above slab or plumbing in slab. So we have a code for these that we give everybody when they start, so they know what these are. But then each of these will have a title on sheet. But it's nice to come in here and go, well, it also has, let's see, it has a view template. Now here comes up something I don't think I even mentioned. Why don't we come in here and not showing up here? I think it's in here. Give me my working view list over here. I went back to 2021. Where's my locking headers? I didn't mention locking headers. Oh, because I turned the headers off in there. Where's locking headers? Give me a schedule with something in it. Where's Kevin? You know where it is? Kevin's gonna pop in and tell me. I don't know. I can't find locking headers. You should be able to lock your headers. So you go in here, you should be able to lock these headers, and I'm not seeing it. Epic fail. We have freeze headers. Where's freeze headers then? Am I missing it? Right click. Freeze header.
There it is.
There it is. I'm like, I should know right click better. Okay. What kind of schedule is the abbreviation? Oh, that's an excellent schedule. On the ones that I hijack, what kind of schedules are those? When I go create those, if I go here and say edit fields, so you can't really get back to where it starts, can you? Okay, I use mass. I use mass a lot. So if I want to start time, we're doing great. If I want to start a schedule, and I'm going to make it a note schedule, I'll come down here to mass, because we don't use mass. And I can make it a key schedule, and I can call it, if it's been electrical or plumbing, maybe it's going to be lighting. And I can, it's got a key name, and then I can go, give me, note. So I got a key name and a note. Okay. And then I can start, come out here. Let me get that back up, right? I can insert data rows and put in whatever I want. Give it the numbers. And the nicest thing about this, as opposed to text also, is I can mix letters and numbers. I can have an A and an A1 and A2. You can't do that when you use text. So I use a mass schedule, and then I can get rid of the header. I can get rid of the blank row. I can name it whatever I want. And by doing that, I can do it. And my key schedule for my my abbreviation schedule was done exactly the same way, just putting abbreviations in here and whatever its abbreviation stood for in this row. So that's how I do that. It's a quick little thing. And I don't know why I didn't think about putting that in here. Thanks for the question.
Hey, Donnia,
yeah.
You could have just used the new Alexa feature in Revit and just said, freeze header, Revit, freeze header.
Yeah, that works as well as Alexa take down Christmas tree. I know. So yeah, that's good, guys. That's good. Yeah, this is fun. I like the interaction here. Anything else? Anything else, guys? Any other questions?
There is, well, I don't know if you got the one. Thanks for noticing my forward-looking statement, David. Katie said I was unable to get the 0-inch to hide in my door schedules. Any tips?
Okay, that's when you go into, I told you it was a project parameter, so let's go ahead and look at the project parameters. Under the Manage tab, I have project parameters, and so my project parameters, the one you want is an empty link. And when I modify that, you do have to tell the empty link it's an instance, so I can put it to anything. It's under other, it's a link, and then you have to assign it under the project. Very good, I didn't cover that, and I didn't think about covering that. But you do have to assign it, so you would have to assign it to doors so that you can have, but see, you can assign that empty link to anything. When we talked about parameters last time, I talked about project parameters are great because you can assign them to multiple things at once, where a shared parameter goes into a family and it's assigned individually, but a project parameter can be assigned to various categories. So you can assign this empty link to anything that you're going to be using in a schedule that you want to take zeros out of. That should answer that one. That's great. I like this.
We're getting near time, but we do have Elaine with, do you use key schedules to populate door schedules?
No. Well, yes, I do for things like hardware. It's just like, not for just all doors, but yeah, for your hardware, anything like that, that you can put in a list and say, if it's this type of door, it always has this. That's what that room was. If it's an office, it always has this. So that's your key to key schedules. I didn't want to say it. That's your definition of a key schedule is, if it's this, it always has these things. That's what a key does. It keys up these things for this, whatever your category is that you need. So if it's door hardware, if it's floor finishing, or any, your finishes in your rooms, anything that goes on, every time it's one of those, it has this. That's what you use a key schedule. Okay, this is fun. It's always entertaining. Y'all can stump me and I can stump myself, and yet we keep on going and having fun. And we basically gotten all of them answered, I think. Fantastic. What else we got? The next thing going on here, let's see, notes and abbreviations. Yeah, let's check my blog post on how to use this schedule to clean out unused views, because you go in there, find what they are, and you're out. We've done Q&A.
Awesome. That is awesome, Donnia. What right at the bell. And then we could I'll give a bunch of links here. We'll also email or message out a bunch of the links. So definitely check out Donnia on the Voices blog. She is amazing out there with the sharing of the tips and engaging with people. So we're going to wrap up with 2 final slides. If you're looking for other ways to connect and engage in the community, we have some resources for you. You can explore the many ways to connect in the Autodesk community, including the global network of user groups and Autodesk Group Network, the industry-focused communities, helping your colleagues solve business challenges together, the Autodesk forums, of course, staying connected with us on Twitter. We've also got the new blog. So we have the journal blog, which is by the team with information. And then we have like the Voices blog, which is people in the community for the community. And that's where Donnia's at. And there's a bunch we've got almost 20 authors in there doing stuff, everything from Civil 3D to Revit to Dynamo to everything. So let me give a link here.
Yeah, they even do AutoCAD Fusion, AutoCAD Electrical. There's some great
yeah. Let's see here. That's not allowed.
That link.
I don't know why it does pasting on. So there'll be a message out to everybody in your private messages. I'll also put it in the notes on the session page. I don't know why it does this to me. Every once in a while, I can't paste my links to the Zoom window chat. Maybe it overflows it. Anyway, I wanted to thank everybody. You're going to also see a survey at the end, and please take time to fill that out. That helps us, figure out how we're going to move these forward. We got some big plans with community conversations coming up.
Yes.
Make sure while you're thinking of it, go to the community conversation page. If you haven't signed up for Donnia's upcoming sessions, do it. She's got some good ones. The
next one is on chains.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a repeat customer, and how we do repeat restaurants, we have chain restaurants, we even have a chain store or something like that. If you have a repeat customer like that, I'm going to talk about how to set up for that.
Excellent. Yeah, that's and I'd also point out, if you want to lead a community conversation, please feel free to do that. We would love to have you do that, or be a Voices blogger. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I put the blog link in there, and
thank you.
Yes,
I will put all the links in the message. Like I said, I don't know, just like I ended your share. So anyway, thank you, Donnia. I've really enjoyed this. Everybody have a great Thursday.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for attending, guys. Thanks for the feedback.